What's going on, YouTube? This is Terminator Juice, and today I want to talk about the year in review for 2013. I'm going to talk and go over all the games I ended up buying this year, give a quick review for each one, and when that's all said and done, I'm going to do 3 most disappointing games of the year and then my top 5 games of the year. It was a very difficult choice because we had a lot of great games come out this year, and since I own all the systems, I got to play quite a few different games this year, and I was very happy about that. If you guys are new subscribers, I made a video back in July, I believe, where I was talking about the fall and holiday games, which ones I thought I was going to pick up and why. I'm going to link that video in the description. I kind of went a different path. I got the ones I said I would, but then I ended up buying a few I didn't think I would, and it's just it's kind of interesting for me to watch that and then see what I ended up getting this year. So yeah, I'll link that, and you guys check that out if you want to. No big deal if you don't. So 2013 started out with me building a gaming PC. So with the graphics card came 2 free games, which are the first 2 games I got this year, and I'm gonna start with those. The first one I got was Tomb Raider, and I had no expectations for that game, and it turned out to be a great game. Amazing visuals, the level design, the platforming was great, the controls were great, the voice acting and cutscenes were amazing, the gameplay was fun, and I liked the exploration, the hidden things to find, give you reason to go back to areas and complete 100% the game. And yeah, other than the cheesy Hollywood action storyline and stuff, it was a great game and turned out to be a lot better than I was expecting, which is always a good thing when you have low expectations and something turns out way better than that, and just it makes it better, especially if compared to the opposite of having high expectations, GTA 5, and being disappointed. So the next game I received was BioShock Infinite, also on PC. Amazing visuals, amazing story, voice acting, everything was amazing, but the gameplay was okay. It wasn't anything mind-blowing, it wasn't super exciting, it got a little tedious at times, but overall great game, great controls, and really showing what my PC could do. And I beat that game as about 13 hour, I think, total. Not a very long story, but a great game. Tomb Raider I put about 20 plus hours into, just to compare. So moving on to the next game, I bought Need for Speed Most Wanted U for the Wii U, obviously. Got it on sale for $40, and I haven't had a racing game in a long time. I really liked this game. Had great visuals, great soundtrack. I liked the open world, mission design. They had a lot of different car types. The Wii U gamepad integration, I thought worked really well. The only problem I had was the controls were a little too sensitive, and the hit detection. When you think you should just skip by a car, you'd always hit it, and crashed way too often. I felt that game missed the ball there. Just close calls were just pretty much guaranteed crash. So next game I got was the new Super Luigi U DLC. Love that game. I like the 100-second countdown, the shorter levels. I like Luigi's higher jump, and the level design built around that. It was great. Controls were amazing. The music was good. Just a really solid game. $20 DLC. Probably one of the best bang for your buck games that I bought this year. Next I bought Pikmin 3. Downloaded that, and I was pleasantly surprised. Amazing visuals, interesting story, excellent gameplay. I really liked the gameplay, using the Wii Remote and Nunchuck, and interesting game. I played through it twice. The second time I got to the final boss, so put a lot of time in that, about 20 plus hours. I think it was 21 hours, and I really enjoyed that game. Then I went on to something a little darker and way different than anything I'd been playing. I played The Last of Us. Amazing story, amazing voice acting, the cutscenes, good controls, fun gameplay. One of the best games of the year. Visually interesting, like the design of the world. Just a terrible world they created, but made for a great game experience. And I was very happy with how that game turned out. And if you guys, any PS3 owners out there, if you haven't played that game, you should give it a chance. Really like that game. Then I switched to Rayman Legends for the Wii U. Amazing visuals, amazing art style, good level design, good controls. It wasn't as good as everyone said it was, and I was a little, without the daily challenges and the back to origins levels, that game would have been really short, but turned out a solid package. I was happy with that game, and you know, don't think it was better than any Mario game that I played in the last couple years, but it's definitely a solid 2D platformer, and I'm very happy that I bought that game. The next was GTA 5 for the 360. Visually impressive, a technical achievement unlike any other game that I've ever played. Gameplay, uninspired, boring, repetitive. Story, interesting, well acted, but the gameplay, average. Controls, at times, Jesus Christ. I don't know how they can't figure out how to do a third-person game. Driving controls aren't any better than GTA 4, in my opinion. I actually like GTA 4 better for that. Shooting controls, I died so many times in open gunfights trying to take cover, and that game was frustrating for me. I never finished it. I got probably about 80% through the story, and I spent most of my time just getting in a plane and flying around. I mean, just visually stunning, like I said. If I'm flying, sunrise, sunset, just amazing. The clouds, everything about the game world was awesome. I just wish they'd put a little more into the controls and the gameplay. Sick of the same old missions and all that. So next I tried Splinter Cell. Got it for $30 on my PC. Terrible game. I hated that game. Graphically was okay. The voice acting was okay. The story was interesting. The gameplay was trial and error. Impossible bullshit. You take 3 bullets, you're dead. There was like missions with hordes and waves of enemies, and it was just impossible. Just could not get into that game. Just terrible game for me, and I could see why some people might like it, but for me, just did not like that. So next game was Wind Waker HD. I thought the original was okay on the GameCube. The HD remake on the Wii U, beautiful visuals. I said GTA was one of the best technical achievements ever in gaming. Wind Waker HD is one of the most beautiful games I've ever seen. It was amazing. The lighting, everything was amazing. The controls, even for a 10-year-old game, were still good. Better than GTA 5's controls. Still a little dated, some of the animations are missing. Felt a little stiff in areas, but great story. The restructured sailing and fast sailing, all that felt great. The gamepad use, best use of the gamepad, the map, the inventory while sailing. All you just do, quickly look down to see where you're going, to find the treasure charts, the sea charts, or whatever. You'd see the X, and you could just quickly look down, line it up, and get the treasure from the ocean. Amazing music. That's another thing I didn't mention about some of the other games. BioShock had great music. Pikmin had good music. Last of Us, Rayman Legends, all had good music. I wanted to mention that. Wind Waker HD had some of the best music in a game that I experienced in a long time. When you get to the Sage Temples, there's just some really great music. Love that game, and can't say enough good things about it. Then I went from that to Sonic Lost Worlds. Beautiful visuals, decent story, decent voice acting, average to shit controls depending on the world you're on. The ice world was shit. So many deaths caused by the controls. Felt like that game needed a couple more months of polish. Level design went from brilliant to just absolutely terrible. So, and the music was annoying. I couldn't stand it. So that game was disappointing. But the next game made it all better. Super Mario 3D World. Amazing, amazing game. Beautiful visuals, beautiful music, tight controls, great level design, tons of content. I just finally got to the final world. I'm having trouble with the final level. It's really tough. Great difficulty curve, just almost a perfect game. Amazing. I love that game, and it's just great. Then the next day I bought Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds for my 3DS. Great game. Amazing visuals. Best use of 3D ever. Movies, TV, games, period. Best use of 3D. Love that. The music was amazing. Controls were good. Story was a little weak, and gameplay was good. The puzzles and stuff. Best game on the 3DS that I've ever played. Next, and surprising, because I said I'd never buy another one, I picked up Call of Duty Ghosts on Black Friday for $40 for the Wii U. I did it because I wanted to support the game, because Activision, Treyarch, they built in a text messaging system. Your friends, you just hit Y, and immediately shows you who's online. Something every Wii U game should do. So I wanted to support the game, but I didn't want to pay full price, so I paid $40. Good visuals. I think it looks as good as Black Ops 2, if not a little better. I like the map designs. I've had really no connection issues. Pretty good game. The maps are a little too big in times. It goes down to the time limit instead of the score limit, but solid game. I like it as much as Black Ops 2. I know everyone hates it, but I like it a lot. And the final game, Assassin's Creed 4 for the Wii U. I got that on Black Friday for $40, but I've only put about 3 hours into the game. Just got to the sailing, teaching how to do that. I'm going to save that for early next year once I finish 3D World. I just beat A Link Between Worlds, put some time into Call of Duty Ghosts, and then I'm going to start Assassin's Creed 4. So visually looks nice. The music's cool. The story's okay, but the sailing's really fun. I'm looking forward to that game. So now I'm going to go on to my 3 most disappointing games of the year for me. Games I own. I'm not going to include any games I played a little bit of or a demo of. These are games I own and have played. Number 3, GTA 5. Mostly because of the hype surrounding it and the high hopes I had for it. But it just didn't live up to it for me. And, it's disappointing for me. And that's all I can say. Number 2, Sonic Lost Worlds. That game had so much potential. I thought with the Nintendo backing it, it'd be a quality product. Signs of brilliance, but overall, very disappointing. And if I could get my money back, I would. The game's worth about $20 to $30 if you ask me, not the $50 I paid for it. But number 1 disappointing game was Splinter Cell Blacklist, just because it's the worst game I have. Even though my hopes weren't high for that game, it's just the worst game I purchased this year, and the worst $30 I may have ever spent. So that's how I feel about that game. I'm sure people disagree, but whatever. All right, top 5 best games of the year. Now, number 5 could be filled with 4 games. I had trouble picking, but I settled on Tomb Raider just because it was one of the best experiences I played this year. Number 4, The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. Just a great game, like I said earlier. I really like that game. Number 3, and this one surprised me because, like I said, I wasn't a fan of the original. The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker HD. Just turned out to be an amazing game. The improvements they made were just vast, and that game is one of my favorite Zelda games now. So that's that. 2 and 1 are interchangeable. It's hard to pick, but I gave number 2 to The Last of Us and number 1 to Super Mario 3D World. The Last of Us was a great game, great story, but at times some of the gameplay was a little boring and tedious, and that's why I dropped it to 2. And Super Mario 3D World, just the best game this year, best game the last couple years, and it's just an amazing game, almost a perfect game if you ask me. There's only a few little things that I don't like, which are minor, and yeah. So that's it, guys. This video is very long. If you watched it all the way through, appreciate that. And I hope everyone had a good Christmas, and looking forward to 2014 for all the games coming out next year. And post in the comments what you guys think is your best game of the year, what's your most disappointing game of the year, and we'll see you on the next video.